Call Halalim La, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the head apostles of GMS and a salute to you Watkins that are tuning in. This is Servant the Body, Miss Boston coming back. And pretty much I was looking at news from what's going on over there in Europe, where the good old Vladdy invading the Ukraine. And, America, of course, is always at the helm, right? At the head, as the head honcho, the first one to come out and denounce what Vladimir's doing and all that. And then you had different voices, different opinion. You had President Trump, ex-President Donald Trump, get on the mic and say a couple comments, right? And everybody's pretty much gung-ho, right? Ready to pretty much get into a conflict with Russia, even though we understand through prophecy that this Third World War can't fully happen, right, until certain prophecies pass, like the microchip, which is the mark of the beast, comes to pass in America. But everybody's quick to call out what the Russians are doing. And I was thinking about it, and it's not that it dawned on me, right? Because it's something that we've been knew, about America, which is a very hypocritical nation, man. It's a very hypocritical nation. And this is how we know that Babylon the Great is indeed America, man. Okay, that's more of a I would say another example, or not even an example. That is another trademark characteristics of America, as I'm going to get into. Because America, sits in bed with all these nations, and these nations have the complete backings of America, man. And NATO being that beast that America sits in, right, as is prophesied in the book of Revelations, it is doing exactly that. Is doing what it's doing is pretty much steering, the national the National North Atlantic Treaty Organization towards its way. All right, because you see, none of this happened when America under the Bush administration said that Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction, and they went in and invaded Iraq, invaded Kuwait, invaded the whole Middle East. And there was no international outcry for that, like that, They said that this man Vladimir, was coming up for a pretense, and they pretty much compared it to Hitler, right? Because Hitler pretty much came up with a pretense to invade Poland, at the beginning of World War II. But that's exactly what America does, left and right, man. If their pretense is not democracy, in the name of democracy, right, in the name of liberalism, in the name of freedom, right, they look for some other pretense, whether it be, to security measures, which is pretty much what Vladimir is claiming. He's claiming security. Now, the United States was claiming security, right, because they didn't want Saddam to develop ICBM missiles, right, so-called, right? And they did the same thing during the Cuban Missile Crisis, right? But here's the thing: you don't see this outcry by everybody, right? Which shows you again and time and again that when we say America is indeed Babylon the Great in the Bible, it fits right in with the bill, man. It fits right in. This nation is a hypocritical nation, man. All right. Let me see here. So let's see what the scriptures say. So this is Revelation 17. And I'm going to start at the first verse. It says, "And there came one of the seven angels which had the seven vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters." Now, waters is a representation of peoples, man. All right. And the great whore, what does a whore do? A whore goes around sleeping with different men. Okay, and in this case, the different men are these other nations. America goes around making treaties, making all kinds of pacts, with these different nations. You have something called the League of Nations, and America's at the helm of it, right? It says, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication, right? And the kings of the earth are modern day presidents. Now they're called presidents, right? And the inhabitants of the earth, right, have been made drunk with the philosophies of America. You can find a McDonald's out in China, man. See what I'm saying? The fast food, everything easy, everything handed down to you. That's all American qualities. All right, that's all American, right? So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman. Now here's the point. And I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. Okay, and that woman is America, is a representation of America, because America has always been known as the delicate she, as a woman. You got this song that says, "Stand beside her and guide her," right? So America's always been looked at as this woman, and especially since there's been no foreign power or foreign entity that has touched America. The Japanese try to do it. They try to use balloons and stuff to send bombs over here, but America's never been touched by any foreign power. Okay, so this is why this is also called the virgin daughter, right? The virgin daughter of Babylon, because it's never been touched. A virgin never been touched. Now it's set upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns, right? And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication, right? And that beast, man, that that's talking about NATO, man. That the alliance, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, which is right now supposedly. I just seen an article. They just came with the first time they ever put a response. They did a response. And at the end of the day, the Lord really is putting the spirit on these heathens to come together, man, to battle, man, because when this Third World War gets the go ahead by the Lord, by the Heavenly Father, it's not something that's gonna happen at the snap of a finger, man. These are things that have been building up since after World War II. You had the Iron Curtain, right? You had the Russian scare, the fight between democracy and communism. That has even still to this day, you can feel and you can savor that the taste of that so-called Cold War, right? You can still feel the animosity between Russia and America, right, which are the two main key players, right? So this Third World War, man, has been in the making, man. But the Lord is just a master strategist. He's a master strategist at it, and he's having a blast, right? But how do we know that America is Babylon the Great? Well, just take a look at what's going on, man. Take a look. See how America sways NATO. See how America moves NATO. And this is right along with prophecy in the book of what we're reading here, Revelations, the 17th chapter. Okay, this is describing America, man, to the T. Says, and the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication, right? And that's self-explanatory. Just the fact of homosexuality being protected here is an abomination in itself, right? A filthiness in itself. It says, and upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Yahweh Shai. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. And the angel said unto me, Wherefore dost thou marvel? I will tell thee the mystery of the woman and of the beast that carrieth her, which had 7 heads and 10 horns. The beast that thou sawest was and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit and go into perdition, right? And they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world, when they behold the beast that was and is not, and yet is, right? And at the end of the day, the beast system is this man's system, the so-called white man's system, because at the end of the day, these devils came, they stemmed off of Europe, right? Which is the bottomless pit. Okay, Europe is the bottomless pit because pretty much nothing grows there. Now, that's where the beast came out. Okay, and now the nation of Edom as a whole is known as a serpent. They're known as the serpent. They're the Edomites. All right, and that constitutes whether you're in English, you're a Spaniard, you're a Russian. Doesn't matter what language you speak. A language doesn't determine your nationality. If your line goes back to Esau Edom, you're an Edomite. Okay. Now Esau, he's built a system. He has a system put in place. All right. So this system consists of his conglomerate kingdom, going into the three frogs. Going into which pretty much consists of the military side, which is really the Pentagon, right? In America, which is the hammer, right? Consists of the what else? The so-called damn, I'm losing my train of thought. The Salakia consists of the so-called spiritual side, right? Which has to do with the Catholics, the Catholic Church, right? So his government structure pretty much, the conglomerate scheme, Esau Edom is really the beast, right? So and they stemmed off the bottomless pit because on the time of the Renaissance, going back, to the 13th century, that's when they really came back into fruition. Okay. Now I had here Isaiah 10 and 6. Says, I will send him. Now I'm gonna start at the 5th verse. O Assyrian, the rod of mine anger and the staff in their hand is mine indignation. I will send them against a hypocritical nation, and against the people of my wrath will I give them a charge, to take the spoil and to take the prey, and to tread them down like the mire of the streets. Now, this is talking about Israel, right? And the modern day Assyrian is Esau Edom, but at the same time, the Lord said that he was going to send him against a hypocritical nation. So that means that the Lord is against hypocritical nations, man. So the Lord is going to the Lord is going to ultimately bring mass death and destruction to the nation of Edom, because they're a hypocritical nation. They're a hypocritical nation, man. In everything that they do, whether it be the unrighteous decrees that they decree, whatever pretense they come up with to invade other nations, and so forth and so on. Okay, they're the real hypocrites, man. Right? Going back to the beginning of the show, like I said, if you go back to the 04, the 2000, early 2000s, you will see that America came up with different pretense to invade, and really what they were after was oil. Right? What they were after was really thievery, man. Thievery. And that goes to show you another point is that this man, the so-called white man, is not fit to rule the earth, man. He's not fit to rule the earth. Because none of this shit is going to go on in the kingdom of heaven. What's going to make the kingdom of heaven so great is, first and foremost, the law, statutes, and commandments will be written in our inward parts. And in the law, it states that you cannot covet your neighbor's lands or your neighbor's property, man. What's not yours? As the old saying goes, there's no honor among thieves, man. Esau, so-called white man, he's a big thief. And all the wars that have been before have been for Esau, so-called white man, not being able to pretty much come to terms in dividing their spoils, in dividing what they've stole. Because everything is stolen. America was stolen. The land of America was stolen. Europe was stolen. They're not really Europeans, because at the end of the day, Esau Edom comes from Mount Seir. All right, they're not really Europeans. All right, that was stolen. Okay, so at the end of the day, there's no honor among thieves, man. And now they want, and now they want to get on Vladimir's ass, man. And we're not in favor of Vladimir Putin. We're not in favor of Americans. If it was up to us, man, we will have you all destroyed, all right, and we'll have you all in slavery, man. But that's coming. That's coming. All right, because you're not fit to rule. You're not fit to be a ruler. Let me grab this. Ecclesiasticus 10:4. The power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time he will set over it one that is profitable. Right, the so-called white man is not profitable, man. It's not profitable to the planet. He's not profitable to any goddamn body, man. Okay? If it was up to him, he'll have you stuffed up on pills until you die. Or shit, he'll automatically destroy the earth in its entirety, man. The Lord said, if he don't shorten the days, there'll be no flesh to be saved. Because this devil is always looking up for a way to wage a war on something. This devil is always looking for a way to do one better and outdo the Heavenly Father. You got devils trying to block out the sun. You got devils coming up with different pathogens. You got devils coming up with all kinds of shit, man. They're unstoppable, unsashable. As the scriptures say, they enlarge their desires as the grave, as hell, which is never satisfied. And that's the nation of Edom, whether you're a Russian or you're a goddamn American, man. Doesn't matter what you call yourself. All right? There's unbeknownst to the world, there's biblical nationalities, man, still at play that are recognized by the Heavenly Father, which is the only important recognition. Okay, that's the only important recognition, is the recognition of the Heavenly Father through his beloved Son. Okay, and he sees you as nations, not as countries. America's a country, Russia's a country, with many different people in it. Even China. All that is going to come back, man. Okay, all that's going to come back, because the Lord's going to put back in remembrance who the hell you are. If you're a Moabite, a Chinese, you're going to know. If you're a so-called white man, you're going to know your biblical nationality, which is an Edomite. All right, if you're an Israelite, you will eventually know your nationality. You're an Israelite in the kingdom to come. Okay. All right, so let me see. Now, last but not least, before I close this out, let me get one of my favorite precepts, which I always bring it out and is a must. Revelations 18:1. And after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and is become the habitations of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. So I gave a quick synopsis with example and proof of who is Babylon the Great today, man, which is America, or aka America, man. All right, and all you got to do is pay attention to how this country, if you want to call it, moves, and what these other nations do. Right, all you got to do is turn your TV and you can see. All right, America, Babylon the Great is America, man, and this is the end. This is the outcome for America: complete annihilation. All right, because this is Revelation the 18th chapter, which is telling you that America will be a barren desert, and everybody's gonna be amazed when America gets destroyed, because it's such a great empire, such a great kingdom. The American, the Babylonian, the new Babylonian Empire, the revived Babylonian Empire is such a great empire, man. But it was so that the purpose of the Heavenly Father could stand. right? Because he did the same thing to Pharaoh. Only thing is that this time he's going to do it even 10 times greater, more magnificent, okay? When America gets completely, utterly destroyed in this Third World War, which will happen in your lifetime. We always got to put that out there because there's a lot of naysayers out there, right? So, if you never seen this, we never heard this, hopefully, this was edifying, as is always the purpose. We're trying to seal the hopeful elect so that the end can come, because the scriptures say that when this gospel shall be preached throughout the four corners, and when the elect is sealed, then the end will come. So, plus the prophecies will be fulfilled. All right, so again, I'm going to say, Kah halal yamla, Yahweh,